Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Welcome to another edition of the Sports Shop 27. I'm your host, Jermaine Coulter. And to my far right, I got my co-host, Kevin Johnson, KJ. And today's special guest, we have a former linebacker from Clemson University. He's in the top 7 in school history. He's in tackles with over 378. He played from 2004 up until 2007. Played with C.J. Spiller, Ford, all those guys.
Man.
Great offense, great defense. Today's guest is Nick Watkins. What's good, Nick?
What's up? What's up?
What's up, fellas? Appreciate y'all for having me, man. Appreciate y'all.
Man. No problem, man. Thanks for coming on the show today. For the people that don't know you, let them know where you're from and a little bit about your background.
Well, I'm from New Orleans, born and raised. Played sports my whole life, just like pretty much every other good athlete. I started off when I was 5 years old playing on a team that was a 7-year-old team. And my first position was center. But, I just grew up loving the game. Had, kind of a big family, an older brother, a little brother, a little sister. My older brother he was like my role model. He went to LSU. He went to Edna Carr High School. This is the school I graduated from. I'm currently coaching that right now. But he went to Edna Carr, and I kind of watched him bloom and develop, and he got scholarships from everywhere. Ended up going to LSU. And, I wanted to follow in those footsteps, and, ended up picking Clemson as my college to go to, and definitely don't regret it at all. Enjoyed all my years there. Playing on the field and off the field as well. So, yep.
All right, cool.
So I know you started off playing sports at the age of 5. Well, what sport was your first love, man?
Honestly, it was football. I just was I was a pitch-up tackle legend.
All right.
So, that's where it started. Throwback to, pitch-up tackle, just out in the streets playing with everybody. And, but I was always the younger kid. I was playing with the older guys. They was like 2 or 3 years older than me.
That's what made you better.
Yeah, they made me better, man. And so I ended up, like I said, I was young at the time, and, I just wanted to get into football. My mom saw that that's all I wanted to do. And my older brother was playing the game as well. So he was in high school, middle school at the time, but he was pursuing football too. So it just was like a family thing, man. It was nothing else for me to do, honestly. I feel like God gave me the talents to do what I did, and, I was blessed with that.
Cool. So you say you started at 5 years old. You looked up to your older brother. Who else did you look up to? Any NFL players or any college players you looked up to or model your game after?
Most definitely, man. It's crazy. When I was growing up, around my time, we had the VHS. There wasn't no DVDs. I used to have a VHS. Take them back. VHS tape. You heard me? VHS. I'm popping that thing in. After school, I'm coming home. I wasn't watching cartoons. I was watching NFL greatest highlights. People like Dick Buckins. People like, just all the great old players. Yeah. So I found a love for the game and just the culture and the tradition and all the history as a youngin'. I was like 7, 8 years old telling my friends about people that they had no idea about. There wasn't no YouTube back then. We had to come on, let me show you. Pop this VHS and come sit down. Let me show you who I'm talking about. And, but growing up as I got older, Ray Lewis was my idol. He still is one of my idols today. Just his approach to the game, his leadership, and even the things he's doing now off the field, you know what I mean? So definitely was one of the people I look to. Yep.
All right, cool. So you go into the middle school, you still playing linebacker, or what position did you switch to then?
Yeah, going into middle school, I kind of I was in between running back and linebacker. So I played both sides of the ball. Obviously, I thought I was the best running back ever, but I was better at linebacker. I was physical. At running back, I was a one cut one cut guy run you over, just
Yeah.
So but yeah, I enjoy just the contact of being a running back, being able to prove linebackers and safeties. Anybody trying to tackle me, like, it's gonna be a tough day for you. So I transitioned that to defense, all my energy to defense. Basically, my senior year, I kind of laid off of high school. Off of running back, and play more linebacker. Yep.
Yeah. Which one you like the most between the two, man? Running back or linebacker? Which one?
Man, definitely, you already
Which
know
one got your heart?
linebacker, man. Linebacker. I'm a linebacker at heart.
Because you want to bring the wood, right?
Yeah, man. Yeah, ain't nothing like that feeling and just hearing that crowd say, "Ooh."
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Ooh,
Hey,
yeah. That's what I'm
nothing
talking
like
about.
that. Nothing like that.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
so talk about growing up. You're going into your adolescence. Years in middle school. Talk about growing up in New Orleans or Louisiana and
Yeah.
the culture for high school football in that state.
Man, that's really. I mean, if you New Orleans is a poverty-stricken area. You know, you deal with a lot down here. Not to mention hurricanes and all that other stuff we
Oh
go
yeah,
through down
man, for
here.
real. Yeah.
So, everybody looking for a way out. And sports was most people way out. And for the high school atmosphere, as far as just sports period down here is just it's really insane. It's like second to none. Um, the talent, the the time and effort the coaches put in, the passion behind it. Because down here, it's like, you're really trying to give the kids a chance to get out and experience something.
That's
So,
true.
growing up, like the coaches was always preaching, grades and, making sure your grades right,
Tell
even
me.
though you're the greatest athlete, they always had a bigger picture for you. Like, you know what I mean? They wanted to get you out of the community. And that was my goal too growing up. Just like, man, I would pray as a young man. My mom always had me in church. I was a little boy. I wasn't even a teenager, praying every night, looking out the window, wishing on
Yeah.
stars, like, get me out of here.
That's
God,
right, man.
if you
Yeah,
do this for
I
me, I
feel you.
promise. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna
Yeah.
do right, and I just always try to stay the course, man. It was a lot of distractions,
Yep.
a lot of distractions. So I was in the middle of it. I grew up in one of the toughest neighborhoods. You got some of my friends who came to visit with me, and they were like, "Man, this is why you feed up it." But
Yeah. How you make it out?
yeah, I was able to adjust and just, I had people who looked out for me. They knew I was, I was
Yeah.
talented and I was going places, so they kept me out of trouble as well too. But
So,
I definitely enjoyed, growing up here and just the whole experience of, the football and the sports and the culture of New Orleans.
oh yeah. So once you reach the high school level, did you play right away at the linebacker spot?
Yeah, man. I played JV from 7th to 8th grade. If I was able to, I would have been on a high school team, but you couldn't at the time.
Yeah.
You had to be in the
Yeah.
ninth grade. But once I got in the ninth grade, I actually was voted a team captain. I was a team captain from ninth to my 12th grade year. Um, it's my 12th grade year. We graduated with 13 seniors on defense. So all of us came in out of ninth grade, and we had a great core of guys that I came in with, the 2003 class, and those are guys that I'm actually coaching with right now. They my friends, the same people I played football with and
Okay.
graduated with my senior year. So
Oh yeah.
they're coaching with me. You know what I mean? And that's a beautiful thing to be able to still have that relationship with them, coach and give back to the kids. But yeah, I started right away, man. My ninth grade year, my coaches saw something in me, and I saw something in myself too. I wasn't the biggest, I wasn't the fastest at the time, but I was the meanest and the toughest. You know what I
Hey,
mean? I always had that edge about me, and they saw something in me and trusted me. So, yep.
nice,
All
man.
right. So you're in ninth grade. You're the team captain on defense, or team captain, hands down.
That's
Getting
right,
in
man.
10th, 11th grade. Name some of the schools that were your rivals and some of the players that's notable mentions that were all American in your league as well.
Oh yeah,
Man,
good.
thinking about it, Old Perry Walker was probably one of the toughest rivals. Old Perry Walker and John Curtis. John Curtis, we just recently played them on national TV on ESPN this year and ended up winning that game. That was a big win
Okay,
for us. But Old Perry Walker was probably the
congrats.
biggest because it was closest to our school, And we had guys
Okay.
like Craig Davis. He was a wide receiver for he went to LSU and got drafted to the Chargers.
Okay.
We had guys like Mike Wallace. He went to Oak Perry Walker. Um, to actually tell you a story about Mike Wallace went to Etna Carr, my high school first. I was in 10th grade. He was a 9th grader.
All right.
And we used to give him the blues. He was a little skinny, fast track guy. He was the fastest dude on the team almost back then. And he was just in the 9th grade, but he was blazing fast, and we used to give him a hard time, rough him up and stuff. But he ended up, leaving my school and went to Old Perry Walker his 10th through 12th grade year, and finished up there. He had a great career. Ended up going to what he went to. What he might go to. I forget what college he went to, but he ended up, doing well in the pros and stuff. So we definitely had some battles coming up. In high school, it was always packed crowds, the bands playing and
right.
all that good stuff. So, yep.
Yeah, that's
All right,
what's up.
cool. So, any playoff appearances in high school? Any state championships?
Man, I never got a chance to win a state championship as a high school player, but it's funny. Now that I'm coaching, I've won four. We went to state championship 5 years in a row, and I've won 4. So I won them coaching, but I haven't won it as a player. The furthest I've got in high school was the 4th round of the playoffs, and we lost a game I always wish I could get back even out of all the college games and stuff. It's like, man, I would play that one more time just because, we actually would have ended up playing our rival, Old Perry Walker. So that would have been, because they ended up going and finishing out, and it was us and a great team, St. Thomas More, but they had some great athletes, fast quarterback. We ended up losing, and I always wish I could play that game again, get to play them in the championship.
That's what's up.
Okay.
So did you go any All-Star games?
Yeah. My I was always like all district, all metro, all that stuff. But my senior year, we had the seniors had an All-Star game, and I actually was the MVP of the All-Star game my senior year, and ended up playing in the Louisiana versus Texas game. That was on ESPN. Ended up getting the defensive player of the game for that game as well. And I had fun, man. Just meeting and playing with guys who had great talent and ambition just like me, and it was fun, kind of being able to play against some of those guys, and then now we all on the same team, and we really we the camaraderie and stuff and building relationships. It was cool.
All right, cool. No other sports you played in high school besides football?
I played everything except for baseball, man. I played track. I ran track. I played basketball, and probably my second favorite sport was track. I love running track.
Okay.
Just because that's something I did as a little boy. Just come on, you want to race? Come on, line up. We running. I'm on bare feet on the concrete. Taking my shoes off, running, racing, and that's just a natural thing. So it actually helped me. As a football.
What was you running? 100, 200?
The 100, 200, and I ran the relays 4x1, 4x2. I did the long jump. Yep.
Oh, okay, cool. So you played in the All-Star game. I know you probably got a lot more recruits added to you during that process. Talk about the visit that you took and how many schools was looking at you and why you chose Clemson.
Clemson, yeah.
Yeah, that's it's a crazy story. My brother, like I told you before, he went to LSU. Excuse me. And during that time, Coach Burton Burns, he was coaching at Tulane with Tommy Bowden.
That's right. Yeah, Coach Burns. Yeah.
Yeah, Coach Burns, my dog. So he was recruiting my brother to come to Tulane, and I kind of remember him, just a little bit vividly as a kid, and come back around my senior year, he's coaching and recruiting for Clemson, and the connection came just again. Like my brother, like, yeah, I know he was a good dude, man. Like Coach Burns, solid. My brother, vouched for him, and Clemson was actually one of the first schools to offer me a scholarship. one of the first bigger schools, and there was always, just always showing like it was more than football. They would call in and check on me. And it just always felt comfortable, like an easy transition from my high school coaches to the Clemson coaches. It felt, it was a good feeling. But I took a trip to Ole Miss. I took a trip to Michigan State, Tulane, and also Auburn. But the last trip I took, actually, if it wasn't Clemson, I probably would have chosen Michigan State, just because it kind of had that same vibe and feel. But I had already made my mind up and committed to Clemson.
Well, pretty cold, Michigan State.
Yeah, man, it was. But you know what kind of had me? I have family out there. My auntie and a lot of my cousins. I had like so they she was like, "Come on out here." She was kind of bucking me up too. You need to come on so I can go to your games, and your mama could come out here, make it one big old
family.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So give my people a reason to come see her, and then I'm out there and stuff too. So, but like I said, Clemson just stole my heart, man. And the players and the atmosphere and just the whole environment when I got there.
Same way too.
Yep, right for me.
Yeah. So, what coach recruited you to go to Clemson?
Coach Burns. He was a recruiting coach. He came. He was a recruiting guy for that area, Louisiana area. He he knew it pretty well, and he came down. He came to my house. He came first. Then him and Coach Bowden came.
Oh yeah,
and, They Coach Bowden pulled up at my door, and it was kind of surprising because I had all my friends out on the front porch. We just kind of hanging out, and Coach Bowden pulls up in a little truck. Him and Coach Burns. All professional, and my friends like, what the fuck? Excuse me, like, what the hell going on? Like, Coach, So I'm like, man, y'all gotta go. Let me handle my business, man. They kind of caught me unexpected because I didn't know he was coming. I kind of cleared the scene and got ready for it, but that was kind of a little weird first impression. But Coach Bowden, he was a great coach, man. A lot of good times with Coach Bowden. He came and kind of sat with me and my family, and we felt comfortable about what they was presenting us. And I had already made my mind up, honestly. So
man. I know you made Coach Burns because he was a running back coach. I know you made him proud.
He
always showing love, man.
Yes, sir. That's my dog, man. I love Kurt Barnes, man. He's doing good things out there in New York. He's coaching in New York. Shaquan Barkley right now, the running back coach out there.
Hey, man, if you see him before I do, tell him I said, what's up, man?
Most definitely.
Yeah, much love.
Cool. So you get to Clemson. You like the campus. You love the recruit. You chose them over Ole Miss, Michigan State. You go to the locker room your first day at practice. Who's the player that embrace you or take you under their wing?
Take you under your wing, yeah, for real.
Man, you know what? Like I say, the first guy who was like a big brother to me, probably I would say two guys. Mo Fountain, he was the defensive end at the time. Big Mo, that's my brother. He came down and visited me a few times, and we kicked it, and we still stay in touch to this day. I love him to death. All my brothers at Clemson. Justin Miller, he was my host on my recruiting business. And honestly, if it wasn't for him, he was like almost a good 40% of the reason why I came. For real. Just like, he felt like I felt like he was like just like me. Like we had a lot in common, and I'm seeing him, navigate through what's going on. And I'm like, I can do the same thing, man. And he was embracing me and like letting me know, like, hey, the world is yours too, man. You come up here, everything good, So, yep.
That's what's up, man. That's a good one.
So your freshman year, did you redshirt or did you get playing time as soon as you got to Clemson?
Well, I actually redshirted, and in my mind, I felt like I could have played, but I feel like looking back on it, we had some great linebackers back then. My freshman year, I think John Leak was the senior leader at linebacker.
Yeah, John Leak, out of Texas.
Yes, sir. And we had some studs, man. John Leak, Eric Sampson, Leroy Hill. Billy, yeah. Me and Billy came into the same class, so we kind of had to wait our time. I want to say Billy played right away, if I'm not mistaken, because he was something special. But yeah, man, I redshirted, and I'm thankful for that because I was able to pick up some weight, and just kind of get familiar with the scheme and just playing at that speed college level.
All right.
What's up, man?
So go ahead, KJ.
Yeah, I saw you had 259 tackles, 4 interceptions, and 1 for a touchdown, man. Talk about the importance of being a good linebacker.
It's everything. You the quarterback of the defense. You know what I mean? Your defensive coordinator is kind of counting on you to do his job on the field. If that, you know what I mean? Like you got to call out those checks. You got to put guys in the right position. You got to kind of have a great, kind of think about what's going to happen before it happens.
What happened? That's right, man.
Yeah,
That's
you
right.
gotta have the Superman vision too. You can't just be looking at one thing. You gotta kind of get the big picture, get the big picture down in distance, all that good stuff. So it's a lot goes on into being a great linebacker. Anybody can be a linebacker, but if you want to be great at it, you gotta really study your craft, and you gotta pay attention to the small details. Like the defensive line is there to clean it up for you, and they expect you to make a tackle, and that's just what got to happen if you play linebacker.
Yeah, I got to check out the secondary too.
Yeah, definitely. The linebackers and the secondary work hand in hand in the coverage wise, but when it comes to getting guys ready for the run in the front eight and calling the strength, how we gonna line up, the linebacker usually communicating with the defensive line.
That's right.
And letting them know, hey, this is what we're doing. It's the same page. We want to stop the run. But coverage-wise, me and the secondary on the same page. So, like I said, it's a lot. You the middleman. You the glue of everything.
That's right, man. Your stuff. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So playing linebacker, you had notable running backs that give you an ample amount of time to rest on defense when you wasn't on the field. Talk about the importance of having a good run game and two backs, Thunder and Lightning, back with Ford and Spiller during your time at Clemson, and the presence of the locker room that they, brought to the team.
Man, I tell you what, I'm almost getting chill bumps sitting here thinking about those two guys because they was like real phenomenal players. Probably some of the best football players I've ever played with, period, at any level. And it was a pleasure playing with those two. We still, like I said, they family. That's my brothers. Thunder with the power. He'll hit you with the run through you, and in between the tackles, weigh your defense down. And Spiller, man, he was like, he get past one guy, he get past the D line, it's over. He don't even have to worry about that. You know what I mean? So. It was amazing watching those guys, and like you said, just being able to have that, the offense and defense working together. Well, hey man, y'all, we getting these 3 and outs. Y'all go out there and weigh them down with this running game, and we gonna come back out here and do the same thing again. And that was one of the most exciting times at Clemson when those two guys was playing. Kind of started the beginning of our run. Really, like we was always on the edge of just being right there. Like we was always a championship team, and I feel like we just was missing like something, But they started that spot.
Yeah,
Thunder and Lightning. I think that carried on even till today. It was just a tradition, and even the guys before that. You know what I mean? It's just, I feel like everybody played a part. As far as Clemson tradition and where we at today. But during that time period, Clemson was exciting. You wanted to come to those games and watch CJ and watch James Davis, Jacoby Ford. You know what I mean? You want to come see those guys play. So it definitely was exciting. Yeah, man. Yep. Yeah,
so talk about you playing in the last era of the Bowden era. I think maybe 2009 or 10 became Dabo's era. Talk about the type of coaching style that Dabo had with you guys in those 4 years that you played with them.
But as during my time, Dabo was the receiver coach, and he had the most energy on the team. I always felt like, this guy, you can see something in coaches, like he just wasn't no regular coach. You know what I mean? He go the extra mile. He's yelling and getting his players together, and he's on their butt about every little detail. And it showed in like Saturday night when it's come time for those guys to perform, they showed up. I'm talking about from every guy. I can go down from guys like Derek Hamilton, Chancey Stuckey, Jacoby Ford, Aaron Kelly.
Keep going.
Man, I could keep going. I'm sorry if I'm missing somebody, but you know, man, we my boy Curtis Bayham, another New Orleans Raiders relative.
Yeah, man. Okay, yeah.
You know, I mean, we had some great guys back then, and he had them. You know, he had them doing what he wanted to do. He coached them up, and he always brought the energy to practice. We at the defense will be on one side of the field, he on the offense on the other side, but you hear his mouth from way over there. You know what I mean? Just the passion and the energy he brought. And I wasn't surprised that Clemson hired him as a head coach because, you know, they would be silly if they didn't. You know what I mean? So he's a Clemson man, hands down. Everybody know it. You can tell right now. And you know, even Coach Bowden, like I said, you know, we had some rough times back when you know during his little tenure, and we had some good times as well. So, but he definitely, Coach Bowden definitely laid the foundation down.
That's right.
He kind of he was, you know, he drove the bus as long as he could, and you know, and he handed the torch off to the next man, and that's how the game go. Yep.
Oh yeah. Cool. Hey, name some good running backs that you had to face in the ACC, man, each week.
Oh man, we had guys like Tashad Choice at Georgia Tech. Man, we had Florida State had a bunch. I mean, every year they had running backs out the and you know, I mean, however you want it, big strong backs, fast, elusive backs, however you want it. Frank Gore at Miami. Man, and it's probably a bunch of more guys I'm missing that I played with that was, you know, great players, man. You know, the ACC was always a great conference. We always had some talent, you know, even though everybody's SEC crazy, but, you know, that we always had talent. We always had good players in the ACC, and, you know, it's proven.
Well, I got some highlights, man. We want to check it out a little bit. Probably bring back some memories and stuff, man. You know, don't get emotional on me, though. We come back. All right?
That's what's up.
All right, here we go.
Let's do it. Oh, yeah. Look at my boy, Billy. Come on. Running down that hill, man. Nothing like that.
Right, man. Great experience. Look at that defense.
Oh, yeah. That's that defense I'm talking about. Ricky Sapp. Man, I remember this game. That was a great game right here. Florida State coming to Clemson. He was on their butt early.
That's right. You got to, man. They be down there waiting on you, down by the hill. They be waiting on you, man.
They talking smack.
Me, man. Come on, man, just like you are. Shoot. What you talking about?
Oh, look at him! Look at the kid! Look at the kid on the sack, man.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about.
Yes, sir.
For everybody that's watching,
defense, bro, that's crazy, man. Everybody is swarming to the ball. That was one thing about us, boy. We was running to that ball. We was like, listen, we ain't about to let nobody tackle by themselves. We about to get a piece of gang tackle.
That's right, man. That's right. Ain't nobody scoring on us, man. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have that confidence.
Talk about how James Adams was so you know, detrimental to y'all defense, and how many plays he made, and I mean he just made the biggest plays at the right time.
Listen, rest his soul, man. God bless him. Man. You know, Gaines, my brother, I love him to death, man. He almost I'm about to tear up right now, bro. Thinking about my dog. But man, listen, dog. He Gaines was another one. He took me in, and he you know, just watching him perform at that level week after week after week was amazing. Sometimes I'm not gonna lie, because Gaines was, you know, me and him mostly was on the same side. He was in front of me, and I would watch him sometimes. Like sometimes I just kind of watch him. You know what I mean? Like it's just, man, like look at the stuff he's doing. Yeah, man, he made my job and everybody else's job so much easier. I'm talking about from the linebackers to the secondary. Everybody, when the coach came, when we was playing against teams, I can guarantee you, they was like, listen, we got to do something with number 93. You know what I mean? We got to double him every play. And we knew that, and he knew that, and he still made plays. You know what I mean? We knew they was going to game plan for him, and, he knew that. And, man, they was doubling them. Shit, and tripling, nothing you could do against Gaines, man. His get off was immaculate. I've never seen nothing like it. Getting off the ball, you freeze frame it. He's like 3 steps ahead of everybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
he
man.
just was a special player.
Yep.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah,
so what was the defense that year? Were you guys 3 robber or 3-4? What was the defense?
We was more like a 3-4 defense, and Gaines was more like the kind of like the stand up backer. Like, you know what I mean? He was like a band, like a bandit. That's what we called it at the time. Like a stand up linebacker type. And sometimes he would line up on the line with his hands down, and we kind of give it to like a 4-3 look. But he's still, playing the bandit position. He's still kind of we looked at him like as a hybrid, like a linebacker / DN. You know what I mean? That was he had his own position. He wasn't a defensive end. He was called a bandit.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, cool, man.
Yeah, my most memorable moment about Gaines Adams, man, when y'all played Wake Forest, man, and he took it all the way back, man.
Yes, sir. Man, that was an epic game. Yes, sir. Blocking that field goal. I think we blocked the field goal. Yeah, he scooped and scored that thing, took it to the crib, and the tables turned after that. Yeah, it was like, okay, thunder and lightning, here they come. They running that thing, doing their thing. They got everybody momentum going, and because we was down, man. We was losing by, I think, like 20 points or something. Almost, we was losing like we wasn't supposed to be losing like that. And after that play, I remember just, the whole momentum skyrocketed after that. And we got on board, ended up coming up with the win.
So this year, y'all had Miami come to Clemson, and y'all played a real good game on defense. I mean, quarterback didn't have much time to get the ball off. You also had a good game against a Hall of Famer by Calvin Johnson. Y'all shut him down to 0 catches and won the game. I guess that was in Georgia Tech. Yep. So talk about playing against Georgia Tech, that rivalry that you guys had with Choice, because he was taunting y'all that week. And then y'all had big, Calvin Johnson, playing wide receiver, probably the best receiver in the country at the time.
Yeah, man, it was another great game. Shouts out to my dogs, Justin Miller, Ty Hill, CJ Gaddis, Sergio Gillum, Mike Hamlin. Yeah. Chris, my dog Chris Clemens, the secondary that year, they locked them up. You heard we called it 21. We was the defense just for him. We called it 21. He was number 21. Whenever we got in 21, we was some specifically for Calvin Johnson just to shut him down. And it was amazing, bro. Yeah, it was amazing just to like look back and like, wow, we really held this dude to 0 catches. And it was a compliment to not just the players, the coaches as well, because we game planned and we practiced it all week, and we ended up coming out and executing it. And it was a great feeling, man, just to be able to do that and pull it off against one of the, he's the Hall of Famer, you know what I mean? So just looking back, that's something we can all celebrate and, pat ourselves on the back during that moment. Yeah.
Right, man. Hey, talk about the bowl games, man. They get special sometimes, man. I know all of them weren't good, but man, you at least get to go on a bowl game and see something new, see some different people.
Yes, sir. That was that probably that was what we look forward to. That's what we bust our butt for all year. To be able to get to a bowl game, and then sometimes, like you said, the cookie don't crumble like you want all the time, and we definitely had our expectations every year to be in a BCS bowl, but we enjoyed every bowl we went to. We had fun at the hotels and just traveling and seeing new sights, and the gifts was great. We getting bowl gifts and things like that. And man, the experience was great, man. Like I said, that was kind of like our championships. The end of the year.
There you go.
This the last game. You got those scenes. You about to go all out for this. They last game. You got to play hard for them. And it's just like a stamp in a like that last chapter of the year. You want to make sure you end on a good note.
On the right note.
Yeah,
Right.
you know, whether you didn't have the greatest season or not, it's just
Season
like
or
we
not,
got to
yeah.
do this the right way, end on a good note for the seniors,
For the
for
next
us,
season.
yeah, for next season, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, let's take a look at some more highlights. We got you guys playing against Miami at home. You guys did a great job pursuing the ball. Everybody to the football. That's what we taught in defense and practice. Everybody to the ball, find the ball. So you guys pull out the victory. Congratulations on that. Let's check it out real quick. For everybody that's watching, make sure you subscribe on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook, also on Spotify and Deezer. Here we go with the clip.
Check it out.
Following the timeout. They throw out the flat, and that one's going nowhere. A nice open field stick out on 3rd and 9. Walsh it across the middle. Ryan Moore made the catch, but it's nowhere near the first down. That should bring out the... Wright's getting some pressure. It goes again. That is the 3rd sack of the day by the Clemson defense line. Worried about right now. Ooh, the landing might have been worse than the hit. Field. Way fake to Moss. Wright's in trouble. There's another sack for Clemson. That's it, 4th of the day. Miami by 10. Jones on the ball, on the carry, and he's going nowhere. Trey Tate, earlier this week in his news conference, Tommy Biden said, one thing my daddy did tell me, if you don't make noise against Miami with your fans, you're not going to mess them up too much. We need some noise in Death Valley this week. I think he's getting it right now. He said, you've got the 12th man out there, you need to use it. The cross sweep. Situation for Brian Monroe from his own goal line upcoming. A frenzied full house at Memorial Stadium. This part of South Carolina is about to shift. It's moving up here.
And it's allotted. It has been all day on the sideline.
Yes, sir. We're back.
Proud, baby. It's right, don't it?
Yep. For those of you watching, we have former Clemson linebacker Nick Watkins. Ranked 7th all-time in tackles from New Orleans, and he's now coaching at his former high school. So talk about that game a little bit, and then we could talk about you going into your pro day. Miami at the time was ranked pretty high in that era, coming with Ken Dorsey and McGahee. Those guys just left. Jeremy Shockley. And you guys end up, getting them on the schedule maybe 3-4 years after they come to Clemson. Talk about the game plan,
Man, we knew there was an explosive team. They can do both run and pass. So, I definitely remember that week vividly, like just preaching, like just being disciplined in what we do and
That's right.
believing in the scheme, you know what I mean? And, and we did that. We worked, what we was practicing, we did in the game. We was able to shut their run down, kind of make them one-dimensional, make them pass the ball a lot, you know what I mean? And that worked in our favor. We was able to dictate what they wanted to do. As the game got, I remember late in the game, it was a close game. But defense definitely made some plays and stepped up, helping give the ball back to the offense so they can score, put us in position to win the game. I definitely remember that one. That was one of the most memorables right there.
Okay,
man.
cool.
With the crowd being that loud, man, how was y'all able to communicate, man, and understand that?
We used to practice with speakers. It wasn't that loud.
Yeah,
Now you can
right.
definitely you can't substitute. You can't substitute that crowd noise with nothing. But at practice, we had some loud club speakers around the stadium. I mean, the practice field, and we'll have that crowd noise screaming. So we definitely knew what we was up against.
Yes, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so we was ready for it.
Cool.
All right, cool. So you guys get prepared for your pro day. At the time, who's actually looking at you and coming to see you run your 40s, your bench press, your verticals?
Buffalo Bills, Chicago Bears. Those were definitely like the two main notable ones that like kind of they was with me throughout the whole process. But it was a dozens of teams, man, just because I put myself in a position to guys, I was always, I was a big name, but guys didn't really, my name wasn't out there like it, as it should have been. But by me making plays and playing at a great, school like Clemson, like you said, I'm up there in career tackles and stuff. I made it to where those guys didn't have a choice but to be like, hey, man, let me come see. At least come take a peek and see what's going on from my own eyes. So it was a lot of teams like that just wanted to see for themselves, and it was some guys who, genuinely knew that, I can ball, and they just want to come see, put that extra stamp on it, you know what I mean? Come check me out.
See it in person. Yeah.
So I'm gonna ask you this question: you're 7th all time at Clemson in tackles. I think that was rated in 2019. It's 2021 right now. I'm thinking you're pretty secure still in that spot. You had a lot of notable guys in front of you, like Leak and Simmons, other linebackers before you. Talk about being in that class, and did you ever think that just going out there doing your job that you end up on that list?
That's a good question, man, because not one time I didn't know I was on that list until after my career was over. I not one time looked at those stats. Now after the season was over, I'm not gonna lie, I always wanted 100+ tackles. That was like the minimum. I'm gonna get me 100 tackles again, throughout the season, 100+ that, you know what I mean. So, and I competed with guys like Anthony Waters, who was my leader at linebacker. Just working with him every day and his determination and just grit and his leadership, it definitely taught me and helped me out when it was my time. And like you said, just doing your job, man. That's how you make plays. Being disciplined and making plays go hand in hand in football. It's not about it's about doing your job the best to your ability. And when those plays come to you, you got to make them. Just so happened I was the linebacker, and hell, the plays are meant to come to me, and I'm going to make them up. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to get them.
Right, man.
Yeah. So
KB said, "Whoa."
Yeah, whoa.
Kyle Brown on here.
Kyle, KB, what's happening, dog?
What's up?
What's going on, KB?
That's who I check his episode out. I saw myself. Let me go check my dog out, man.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah, man.
So talk about playing next to David Dunham, man.
Oh man, listen.
31 and 32. Hey, he's a funny guy for real.
Listen, you took the words out of my mouth. We in the locker room. He's 31. I'm 32. We sit right next to each other.
Yeah,
Dude had me laughing so much, bro. And he had a little nickname for me. He called me, and he said he just was a funny dude, bro. He was fun to go to practice. Like it was one of those guys where he was one of those guys where like you'll have a worse, a bad day. Just he's just dreading coming to practice. Like, man, let's get this over with. When you walk in the locker room, you see his goofy ass, and he clowning with you. He making jokes, and he just gets you in a better mood, man. Then when we get on the field, it ain't no more joking. He popping, he hitting. You know what I'm saying? And he laying that wood. Yeah, he was a dog, man, and I admired him. And not only did I admire him, I respected the fact that because he was a senior, he was a class above me, and he played behind me. But and I felt he was just as talented as me, and I know he knew that too. But he played his position, he played his role, he did his role, and he flourished, and he was great in special teams. When he got in, he made plays. Man, you can look up the hit from Matt Ryan that he put on the sideline. That's gonna always
hold him up, boy.
What I mean? Yeah, man.
I think that hit shaped Matt Ryan up for the rest of his life. He's still struggling getting the ball out right now.
He ain't gonna never forget that. He will never forget that. You know what I mean? So it was fun playing with him, bro, and a lot of other guys, man. Like I said, Clemson was one big family. That's why it brought me. That's why it was just easy for me to go there, just because of the I felt that family environment. You know what I mean? So brotherhood.
That's right, man. So talk about life after football, man. What you got going on now?
Man, like I said, I'm coaching right now, and that's a blessing. After I, kind of settled down in my life, I was like, man, I want to get back into, I just got to get back into football, just looking for that excitement again. You'll never find the excitement like playing.
Oh, man.
Just being able to be a part of the game, give my knowledge back to the kids, and just watch them flourish. You watch kids from, 8th, 9th grade, and now they seniors getting ready to go to college and stuff. And, to a lot of those guys, I'm like their father, you know what I mean? So it's like,
there you go.
The bonds that I'm making is bigger than football. But, life in football, the values go hand in hand, being on time, being dependable, being accountable, holding yourself accountable, all that stuff that football teach you is the same things you need to apply in life. And that's what I try to teach my guys. And that's my angle in coaching, just not football, because I'm gonna give you the game. I'm gonna show you stuff that other coaches ain't giving their kids. I'm gonna give you everything, the ins and outs, and it's up to you to be a great player. And I'm gonna push you to be that, but I really want you to be a great man. At the end of the day, that's my goal, to raise these guys up, and have them be productive citizens, man. Have them take care of their family one day, their kids, and be able to come back and help maybe do the same thing I'm doing, coaching and giving back. So
that's right, man. That's right.
So I've been watching a couple programs, and they were saying, in baseball and in football, the games have gotten a little softer, as far as like the calling, the penalties. Talk about the difference between your era of football from a coach's perspective now that you're coaching versus, what you see with the kids that you're coaching right now, what they facing.
Man, I'm not gonna lie. A lot of these kids now, they think that everything is just given. Is that most of them want to just like they don't want to work for everything to kids these days is so accessible. It's so convenient. Like we didn't have internet. We didn't have we didn't have like no iPhones that pick up and you can tell you everything. Just everything is just it makes them so lazy to where they just like don't have that extra about them. You know what I mean? The extra animal in them. And for a lot of kids, they fall. That's their downfall. But you have those special cases where kids are like they just in a shitty situation, and that is their motivation, just going home.
Get out,
seeing what they up against, and like, man, shit. When I go to practice, I'm more comfortable at school around my homeboys, and at practice, I really don't want to leave. I go home and I'm facing something else. So
right.
But from me growing up, that was kind of my angle. Like, man, it just my mom was a hardworking woman. She worked as a nurse. She was working at nursing and going to nursing school at the same time, working night shifts overnight. And, my dad did what he can, but my mom, she definitely raised me right. And kept me out of all the nonsense. But that was my angle, just, like trying to get out of the hood and do something productive for myself and my family. And right now, I feel like kids think that, hey, it's just so like they don't. The love of the game is not as deep as it was back then. You know what I mean? Some kids don't even watch football. They don't even have a favorite player. You know what I mean? They just great athletes and they playing the game. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, man.
just like I said, the passion and the why behind playing the game is a little bit different than it was back then.
That's good.
What's your advice for any kid on any level, middle school, high school, college, before we head out? And then also, give a shout out to some of the people that help you along your journey.
No
Family
doubt, man.
coaches.
No doubt, man. Well, I mean, my advice to anybody playing this game of football is to, you love the game, it's gonna love you back. You put in the work. What you put in is what you're gonna get out. Um, you know, always think in your head that it's somebody working harder than you. Always know that it's somebody better than you. Always know that you're expendable at the level of college and even in some high schools. Like you're gonna have coaches who love you as a person, but they want to win. So you still got to put yourself in a position to be the best player at your position, and it only comes from working every day. When you think you're tired, you got to go some more because somebody saying the same thing and they tired, but they still going. They still going. They getting it in, and so you always gotta, you're gonna be your worst enemy. You know what I mean? So just battle with yourself. Stay tunnel vision. Don't worry about anybody else and what they got going on, and their talents or their situation. Um, Take advice. Listen to the advice you're getting from your coaches and the people that love you because they've been in your shoes, or they only want the best for you. Uh, don't think you know everything. It's always room to learn. Even if you're 90 years old, when you stop learning, that's when you start dying. The minute you stop learning, you're dying. You know what I mean? So just keep living and learning, and always have an open ear to, like I said, the coaches and the people that love you, trying to guide you along your way. And most importantly, just know that football is going to be over one day. You know what I mean? It's going to be over your time. You're going to have to hang those pads up, shoulder pads and cleats,
Yeah,
and you're
man.
going to have to live a life as a productive citizen in this world. So you want to think of,
As a man.
your talents and what you can bring to this world, whether it's sports related or not. You know what I mean? And that's gonna get you where you need to be. That would be my advice. Uh, but yeah, man, the people who helped me along the way. Shouts out to all my coaches. There's so many. My first little league coach, they called the Milkman. He's still like my big brother today. It's crazy. We still hang out and kick it. Uh, all my high school coaches, Coach Dennis, and Coach Willard Brooks, Coach Watney, my high school head coach. Like I said, Coach Burns will, come and seek me out and find me in New Orleans. Coach Bowden, coming to my home and speaking to my mom and just, sticking it out with me throughout those years in Clemson. And, my position coach, man, Coach David Blackwell. My dog, he's doing big things too. He's still coaching right now. He's a defensive coordinator at I want to say Louisiana Tech right now, but he's doing big things, man. Um, Coach Blackwell, my boy, stayed on my butt. Always wanted the best for me. Um, and all my coaches at Clemson. And everybody along the way. Most importantly, my mom. Rest her soul. My brother, rest his soul. Those people who like started me early and instilled in me that I was destined for greatness. You know what I mean? It just always was encouraging me. You know what I mean? It just even when I, didn't think I was it. I didn't, when I was down. Those people, my loved ones, was always there to just bring me back up and let me know that they with me. Lose or win, they with me. But I definitely appreciate my mom the most. She, like I said, she did a hell of a job raising me and my family, my brothers and sisters, and just keeping me out of trouble. Because I think back, right now. There's a lot of friends and people I grew up with that's either dead or in jail. I don't have many of them right now that I can say, hey, I could call on, and I could have easily been in that situation. You know what I mean? If it wasn't for football, if it wasn't for the parenting I had growing up. But yeah, man. And anybody else that I miss, I appreciate you. I love you, Clemson family. I love you. Appreciate y'all boys for having me on too.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah,
No
we thank
problem,
you for
man.
coming,
Thank you.
sharing your story. It means a lot to us.
No doubt, man. No doubt.
Yep. Well, we appreciate you coming on the show, Nick Watkins. It's a lot of inspiring words you said. A lot of important people that played a part in your life, and I can tell that you are very happy and thankful for those people. And we like to keep players like yourself on our show, all right? Because we always like to count our blessings, not our problems. You feel me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right.
Man, keep
Well,
doing
we'll
your thing
tune
with that
in,
coaching,
guys.
man.
What you
Give us
say,
an
KJ?
update. Yeah, I was letting them know, man. Give us an update on that coaching, man. Let us know how your
Oh
team's
man,
doing.
most definitely. Listen, when y'all finish, go check out Etna Cup Football YouTube. We like top 50 in the nation, man. We doing big things. We cold. We got some players down here, y'all. That's real notable. Gonna be going to big places. But that's where I come from. That's why it's only right that some goons coming up out of the school. Yeah, man.
That's what's up, man. Shout out to New Orleans. We appreciate y'all for tuning in. You know it.
Yep.
So make sure you subscribe on YouTube and follow us on Facebook. Just like I say, man, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. Thanks for tuning in. Until next time, wear your mask, be safe. Peace.
Peace, fellas.
Y'all keep going.